Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate comes first at the Arab and Gulf level in anti-money laundering and terrorism financing. The National Center for Statistics and Information launches its new brand identity. And Yemen's Houthis group rejects the president's move to bring a national unity government and partially restore fuel subsidies. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Sultanate came first at the Arab and Gulf level in anti-money laundering (AML) and terrorism financing index 2014 published by the Basel Institute on Governance, headquartered in Switzerland. The Sultanate also came 29th at the global level out of 162 countries, a good improvement in this field. The 2014 report also pointed out that this reflects the efforts made by the Sultanate's government and the National Commission for Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorism Financing. The Basel AML Index is composed of 14 indicators that assesses the performance of countries on a number of indicators, such as corruption, finance of terrorism, and money laundering risks. It also weighs the transparency and political risks and legal liabilities. The National Center for Statistics and Information today launched its new brand identity at its premises in Ghala under the auspices of His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Secretary of the Supreme Council for Planning and Chairman of the NCSI Board of Directors.
Since its inception, based on Royal Decree No. 31/2012, the National Center for Statistics and Information has rapidly implemented modern technology and industry, leading data collection techniques, enabling the center to deliver world-class levels of data capture and classification in order to better inform social and economic policy development.
When we talk about the brand, we don't talk just about logo, but we're talking about it's a brand. This is a new starting of information in Oman. Normally what we are talking about, it's normally the data. It's moved to information, and the information moved to the knowledge. And this which has been taken from our logo. So, and we try to use Oman map to be as our logo, and we try to use those blue for the economic technology, green for the environment and for the growth.
Dynamic and precise, the newly unveiled identity for National Center for Statistics and Information embodies the efficient and professional framework under which the center operates, while the graphical representation of the logo echoes not only the geographical outline of the Sultanate, but includes a stylized representation of the NCSI commitment to transparency and progressiveness. NCSI is spreading social and economic statistical knowledge throughout all the levels of society and building the basis for an increasingly knowledge-based economy in the Sultanate.
Focusing on using modern technology in education at the international level, the first Sciences and Mathematics Teaching Forum was inaugurated in the government of South Sharqiya. More than 400 local and international researchers and experts take part in the event. The forum is a great chance for teachers and researchers to exchange an expertise and views on current issues in the field of teaching sciences and mathematics at international level. The first day of the forum included an introduction speech by the organizing committee, a presentation on features from Oman, and a number of work papers presented by a number of specialists and academics. The Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry announced that a forum for business opportunities will be held next November. During a press conference held today in Muscat, His Excellency Saeed bin Saleh Al Qayoumi, chairman of the Board of Directors of OCCI, said that the forum aimed to establish a culture of self-employment among youths and encourage them to involve in private sector. He pointed that a forum will be organized in cooperation with the Public Authority for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development and Oman Oil Company at Oman International Exhibition Centers in Asib. In order to enhance the significant role being played by the small and medium enterprises and encourage the establishment of private projects, the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development organized an orientation workshop on entrepreneurship prize. It was attended by many government officials. The workshop also discussed the status and future of this significant prize. The prize was one of the fruits of SME Symposium, which was held at Seha Shemikhat last year. It aims to spread the culture of entrepreneurship and shed light on its pivotal role in national economy. The prize also seeks to contribute to establish an economy based on innovation and knowledge. National Defense College in the Ministry of Defense celebrated today the inauguration of its second course. A number of senior officers at the various divisions of Sultan Armed Forces, Royal Guard of Oman, military and security services, and some ministries and government authorities and establishments enrolled in the course. The event was presided over by Major General Salim bin Musallim Qatan, commander of the college. The college includes a host of prominent academic and administrative cadres. It is academically associated with Sultan Qaboos University to grant a Master of Arts degree in the field of strategic and security studies. Still to come in our news bulletin. The 9th calligraphy exhibition in Muscat showcases more than 100 works of art.
من هنا تبدأ أسطر الحكاية. تقاليدها راسخة كالجبال. أصالتها مضرب مثل في كل مكان. بساطتها ليس لها مثيل. لا حدود لكرمها. حاضرها مشرق متجدد. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2014 من 30 من يوليو إلى 6 من سبتمبر.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. For the international world, Yemen's Houthis group spurned the president's move to bring in a national unity government today and partially restore fuel subsidies. Earlier today, Yemen's President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi dismissed the government and suggested a national unity administration in moves aimed at quieting weeks of protest by a rebel group. The Houthis have been fighting for years in North Yemen and were part of protests which have poured into the capital Sana'a. Hadi also partially met their demands with plans to reduce petrol and diesel prices by 30%. Video obtained by the Associated Press showed Iraqi government forces and militias in control of Amrili town after ending a siege by the Daesh militants that lasted 2 months. The footage showed Iraqi government forces firing tanks towards the militants near the northern town in Soliman Peak district. Despite this, smog continues to blow around the town from the recent fighting. Since early this year, Iraqi has faced a growing insurgency led by Daesh group and allied militants that have taken over territory in the country's north and west. Russia said today that Ukraine's moves to join NATO were aimed at undermining efforts to end the war in the east of the country and called on Washington to use its influence and talk sense into Kyiv. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Kyiv's initiative to seek NATO membership came shortly after a meeting of the Russian and Ukrainian leaders to seek to resolve the conflict between the Ukrainian government and pro-Russian separatist rebels. Back to local news, Muscat Securities Market General Index added 44.10 points to close at 7,400 points. The trading value stood at 6.35 million Omani Riyals, comprising a rise by 16.7%. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value rose by 0.37% to reach about 15.45 billion Omani Riyals. The report added that the value of shares bought by non-Omani investors reached 967,000 Riyals. The value of shares sold by non-Omani investors reached 1.1 million Omani Riyals. The Omani Society for Fine Arts organized an opening ceremony for the 9th annual exhibition of Arabic calligraphy and calligraphy formation under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council.
The Omani Society for Fine Arts organized an opening ceremony for the 9th annual exhibition of Arabic calligraphy and calligraphy formation under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of Shura Council. The ceremony started with the Society's speech, then adjudicating committee speech, and finally the chief guest presented prizes for the winner participants.
We used to discover the young or the youth, talented youth Omanis, or special in artists or in fine arts. Whether we get them from schools or other that they came to visit us. At once we receive them, we do like an exam.
Then the chief guest launched the 9th exhibition and took a tour in it to see all participations of this year, where there was more than 50 artistic portraits made by different participants from the Sultanate. The participants expressed that such events and competitions play a vital role in developing their skills in fine arts field.
I participate in this competition for the 5th time, I think, in this competition. And this year I won the first award of the calligraphy section, and especially in the Diwani section. Actually, this competition really improved me in this skill, which is the calligraphy. And of course, from the criticism that I get from the judges of this competition.
The exhibition contained various sections for Arabic calligraphy and calligraphy formation, and it will continue until the 11th of this month. The Omani Society for Fine Arts always keen to conduct such events in order to develop the Omani youth skills in any aspect related to it. Sultan bin Saif Sarai, Muscat.
Now for the general weather focused around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of the Far and nearby mountains with chances of intermittent drizzle. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of scattered rain over parts of the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be southerly to westerly light to moderate along the coast of the Arabian Sea, while it will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate over the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coastal areas of Arabian Sea will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters, and along the rest of the coast it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate comes first at the Arab and Gulf level in anti-money laundering and terrorism financing. The National Center for Statistics and Information launches its new brand identity. And Yemen's Houthis group rejects the president's move to bring in a national unity government and partially restore fuel subsidies. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studio and the newsroom, it's good night.